Hiya, and welcome back to Roads Yet Traveled. The game that teaches us that every single FVN in existence has at least one character that's hiding a metric fuck ton of whatever. The game that teaches us that there's a metric fuck ton of secrets that one character is hiding. The VOD won't be uploaded until later tonight. We're having some issues, but yeah. Anyways, let's just hop right in. As Doc is checking the food, though, he makes a face and pulls out his monitor, the screen struggling to spark to life as he holds it in his massive paw. Oh. Hi, and welcome to the stream. Yeah. The screen struggling to spark to life as he holds it in his massive paw. He squints to see what is written before sighing. Well, it's a good thing that you got here when you did, Marruk. I need to step out for a moment. The professor needs me. I raise an eyebrow, but neither of them notice. Really? I mean, alright if you say so, Doc. Can you? Can I? Marruk, can you stay here with Tucker? Hiya. What? Yeah, of course. Damn, Doc, my memory ain't that bad. Merwin still looks worried. Buddy sighs and turns to me. I'm sorry about this, Tucker, but the professor is running into some issues and, well, it's fine. I could use a break right now anyways. He wants to say something. Hiya. But he stops himself, as he realizes he has to go. Right, I'll be back in a mark or two. Stay here. It will be safe. He waves and walks out the automatic door before I can respond, leaving me to just sigh and flop back against his desk. Damn it. I do need a break, but I also really need to talk to Doc about what's going on here, and how I still feel trapped. Maybe I can bring it up later. With how long these days are, I should have plenty of time. It takes me a moment to realize it, but Marruk is staring right at me as I sit and ponder. Our eyes meet and I freeze. He, of course, doesn't say anything as he just sits and stares, slowly taking another bite without breaking eye contact. Hi, Marruk. Tucker. Thanks for bringing me lunch. Aha. It's like trying to talk to a wall with this guy. I mean, I guess he was actually behind a wall for most of the time we've talked. But still. You on break, yeah? Yup. Busy later? Mm-hmm. This has got to be a joke, right? Yeah. It's like awkward for no reason. Is he messing with me? I swear, we weren't on such bad terms before that we couldn't hold even the simplest of conversations. It's been what? A few marks since we talked last? Are you okay, Marruk? Funny thing. I was just about to ask you that same question. What? What's wrong, Tucker? Hiya. Doc's lab too scary? He much bigger up close? Too many pointy needles? What are you asking? He takes a moment to look me up and down before making eye contact again. This time, though, a faint sliver of blue shoots across his eye. It's not intimidating. It's more like I could see his thoughts forming in real time. A window to his, well, brain. Not soul this time. You read like a bad book, Tucker. You're sitting weird. That plucky confidence you had yesterday is fucking gone. And you can barely even face me. Don't make me force it out of you. Shit. Am I really that out of it that even he can read me? Wait, but was Doc not able to see that something was wrong? I guess my heart rate hasn't really gone up, but surely he... Tucker! Come on, don't fucking zone out on me again. Right, sorry, No, wait. Damn it, Marruk! I don't know. Things are weird right now. I got out of that damn cell, but I can't force myself to feel better. I know I should, but I don't. I still feel scared and trapped and... I have to take a moment to calm down. I was rambling and I didn't notice, but my hands were balled and shaking. Marruk doesn't interject this time. Yeah. In fact, the only reason I know he's still there is the soft sound of crumbs falling into his lap, which he gently brushes aside. I'm scared, Marruk. I'm outside of that cell, and I thought that would be the answer. But you were right. It's not easier. It's not gotten easier as well, at all. The silence persists. A single tear forms in my eye, but I do not let it cascade, wiping it away before more can be called. My breathing, off-kilter and jagged, slowly returns to normal as the chill of the lab starts to sink its way through my skin. It's cold without Doc. Alright. I had almost forgotten I was talking to a carrion as Marruk stands up. He brushes himself off and takes a few steps away. Come on. I raise an eyebrow at him, but he does not elaborate. I get up to follow, but he just looks at me confused. Is this not what he wanted? Tucker, I know you're not a carrion, but I'd still suggest you wear clothes around the station. What is he? By the... I scramble to the desk and quickly hide behind some drawers as I throw my clothes back on. Have I had them off all morning? No wonder it was so damn cold. I think I hear Marruk snicker a few times, but to be honest, I think those were well deserved. He picks up the food tray and heads to the door, which opens in his presence. Are you coming or what? We're leaving? Ignoring me, he takes a step out. The automatic door stays open just enough for light to breach the room. As the grays and doldrum blues fade ever so slightly, I can't imagine simply walking out the door. Didn't Doc say to stay here? No matter how static it feels here, am I really going to follow Marruk of all carrion? Wait a minute! He has my damn lunch! Making sure I'm actually fully clothed, I slowly head towards the door. An unnatural warmth comes over me as the light of the hallway envelops my form in a mechanical embrace. Not sunlight, but enough. Tentatively, I stick my head out of the door. No alarms or anything. Yet. Seems the hallway is Took you long enough. Ah! Turning, I see Marruk was waiting up against the wall, just out of sight. Wipe that fucking smile off your face, Marruk. Wipe that goddamn smile off your face, Marruk, or I'll wipe it off for you. Bastard. Where are we going? He just rolls his eyes and walks away. I do feel we should tell Doc that I'm heading out, but then he might not want us to leave. And since I'll be with Marruk, I don't think I'm breaking any rules. Not that they were even explained to me, really. And I can feign ignorance pretty damn hard if we do get caught. I'd say I'm quite the expert at playing dumb. The rebel Marruk with his cute room. Oh god, his room is cute? Oh god, fuck, he really is a bottom. Oh shit. Hold on. He's not waiting for me. Okay. Violence is never the answer. Sorry. The violence is never the answer. It's a question. And the answer is yes. I don't bother asking where we are going again, as we head down more blank hallways and empty corridors. Oh god. I guess everyone is at lunch? Or working? I can't tell with this place. There are, of course, some carrion walking the halls, but they seem even less attentive than before. I catch a few rogue glances, but at this point, I'm still too out of it to care. As we walk further and further with no explanation, I start to get a bit worried. But the hasty nature of Marruk's march stops me from being able to bring anything up as I'm too busy keeping pace. We pass through a few smaller doors as well as some massive archways that go around the whole hallway. Are those airlocks? I guess it's possible. I never imagined they'd be so big, though. Eventually, the hallways become even less occupied and even less well-kept, paint scratched off in parts, rust accumulating on the fringes, and stains from the continual drip of pipes. The wear and tear finally showing through the veneer of all their technological glory. Hiya. It's a bit surprising to see, but somehow welcoming. These are things I know. They may not be friendly or well-wishing, but familiarity is in high demand, and I'll take what I can get. Although, seeing rust on a spaceship can't be a great sign. Maybe I should tell Rune to come check it out. Marruk, still a few paces ahead of me, takes a sharp turn around a poorly lit corner, and I stop hearing the sound of footsteps. Oh god, that's one of his lines. Turning the corner, I prepare for another surprise. Oh? But this was not the surprise I was expecting. Marruk? What is this? He simply offers me a glance before setting down the tray and taking a seat, not humoring me with an answer. This is beautiful! Is it real? Real? Like, is that... I can't even finish my sentence as I press myself up against the cold glass like a child in a museum. I was not one for astronomy back home. The stars were fascinating, but cold. They felt distant and uncaring. They were nothing that piqued my interest. I could always understand why some people liked them, though. They were untouchable gems on display for all to see. Something to strive for. To the stars and all that. But this gateway to the void? So casually tucked away in a forgotten hallway behind rusted doors and tarnished glass? Has shown me what humanity has been longing for so long. Just an inky vastness. Pinpointed with stellar flames. And it's humbling. These could be the same stars I've seen before, but from a new perspective. Or not. They could be completely new and I'm just homesick. But I'd like to think that humans and Carrion can both look up and see the same stars. I think I should ask Marruk about astronomy. After wiping some mysteriously accumulated water from under my eyes, I realize Marruk has made himself comfy and is just taking in the view as well. I almost feel silly. I mean, there's nothing even to see. There are no planets, no view of Arius, no cool spaceships, no nothing. And yet, I can't find myself looking away. We stay like this, unbothered and untethered from the rest of the station, for what feels like a mark. I eat my food, now cold all the same. Not even footsteps interrupt our silence. It seems this part of the station is in disrepair and disuse. I find myself inches away from a cold death, and yet this is the most comfortable I've felt all week. I was the one trapped behind inches of glass just days ago, but this feels different. I am not the one who is trapped. It is. We may be small, and most likely insignificant to it, but the void cannot touch us here. We are the observers, and we have our place. Even now, as the station is surrounded by it, and we float through it, it is not throwing us to charnel winds. It is embracing us, holding us tight and letting us dance endlessly under its starlit vigil? I think that's it. Vigil. And it does not know it. And it will never know it. But it is at peace. And so am I. For at least but a moment. Oh? Ooh. As I find myself drinking the dregs of my soup, I see Marruk on his monitor just relaxedly scrolling through some screens. I've yet to thank him for this. Or talk to him at all since we got here, actually. At this point, I'm almost afraid to break the silence. Oh? CG? He stretches and looks back to the window. Not longingly as I have, but with the same stoic expression that he always holds. I'll assume he's just thinking. Starlight highlights his short fur, almost glistening around the edges of his form. I try not to stare, but I can't help it. I really do need to thank him. Hey, Marruk? Thank you. That's about right. We continue to sit as the minutes roll by. Oh my god, it's an amicus moment. Oh my god, yes. The food runs dry, and I get everything together back on the tray. Still, neither of us make a move to leave. Oh my god, right? I trust Marruk to keep track of the time. Not like I could anyways. But I'd hate to imagine Doc coming back to an empty lab and panicking. Eventually, though, he does get up. And as so much without a word, he just nods his head in the right direction, and I follow. I'd caution one last glance outside, but it will just make it harder to leave. We see a few carrying on the way back, but none as bold as to approach us or even do much of anything really. Probably for the best, if Doc's hypothesis is right, expose myself to them. Wait. Good thing Marruk told me to put on my clothes, or it might have been that kind of exposure. Heh. As we get to the door, Marruk swipes me in, but makes no moves himself to follow. Not gonna wait for Doc? Nah, I have better things to do than wait for him all day. Heh, no, I've got to get back to work. That thing come up? Well, thanks again for lunch. And, I won't tell Marruk if you don't. Oh, by the eye, Tucker, do not tell Marruk. I won't hear the end of it for the months if you do. Okay, I won't. He nods and turns away without so much as another word, but it's okay. He has places to be, as do I. Aww. Heading back inside, it's still cold, but at least I have my clothes on now. Seeing as there's nothing better to do and Doc still isn't back, I snoop around to see what I can see. The drawers are all fully stocked, everything is pristine and wrapped in plastic, and everything is perfectly organized. It seems a bit excessive, but I don't suppose Doc got his title by being lazy. Checking out the monitor he was working on earlier reveals a series of screens I still can't read and even more incomprehensible charts and images. I didn't expect much, but it's still fairly disappointing. Just another layer of separation and confusion between us. I sigh and resign myself to sitting in my chair to wait. But not before messing up some things on his desk. For science, of course. I'm curious if he really does have a place for everything. I could ask him, of course, but this just feels more fun. Oh no. Oh no. Time crawls to a slog waiting for Merwin to come back from wherever he went. I even ended up napping for a bit on the examination table. I hope he's okay. I mean, I'm sure he's fine, but like, I can't imagine anything that takes this long is really easy. Especially if it involves the chief. Probably something about the experiment or whatever he's got going on. I wonder if they were ever going to tell me about that anyways. I get that it's under wraps right now, but like, who could I tell? I guess anyone with a neural. Although if an alien came up to me and told me my boss was working on some crazy big science experiment right under my nose, I'm not sure I'd believe them. Man, I would kill for something to make sense these days. I way overestimated how fast things would be normal here. Even after everyone told me that it wouldn't be easy, I just ignored them. Still, I'll figure it out. I have to. Okay, I've had enough. Picking a random book on the shelf, I start to flip through to see if I can find anything interesting. I think I picked one about, well, I think it's about general medical practices, but there's a lot more graphs and charts than images. I know. I think I hate Marruk a little less now. Just a little bit. Just a tiny little bit. And the few images there depict tools more than anything. The next book proves equally boring, as it seems to just be a dictionary, or maybe a glossary of medical terms. Either way, no pictures. I can't even reach the rest of the books unless I were to pull a stool over to stand on. Which, while tempting, I'd hate for Marruk to find out I hurt myself while trying something stupid. Just slightly. I can think of many embarrassing ways to die here, but that's definitely up there. Resigned to the two books I have now, I try my best to find any similar words or phrases. I might have figured out the Korean word for forceps. I'll be sure to bring that up in casual conversation. Oh my, Doc, you have such nice forceps. I'm sure they're made with the strongest laying steel. Yeah, let's try to find something better. After trying to match a few more words with what limited images I have, I think I've figured out a few more words. Oh, jeez. Nothing useful in day-to-day life, or even useful at all since I don't know what the words sound like, just how to read them. Well, what is reading besides pattern recognition? Putting the books down, I walk back to the monitor to try and check the time. Although halfway there, I realize they still haven't told me how to read the time here. So I'm not sure what I could figure out myself. But at this point, I'm sure my appointment with Doc has been delayed for sure. It's fine, we have time. All the time in the world, I guess. Worlds? I hope time works differently here. Not in the sense that the days are longer, but maybe slower. Like, maybe I can go home and only have been missing for a day or two. Maybe my family won't have to worry about me. I mean, I am safe after all. I shouldn't be thinking about this right now. It's not good for me. Creeping up to the door, I don't hear any footsteps, so I step closer and, to my surprise, it opens. Taking a look around, the hallways are empty again. Just flickering lights and dull white paint. I don't think I should step outside. I'm unsure if I can get back in or not without a keycard. And I really don't think Doc would be happy to see me just stuck in the hallway. But he better leave me with some form of entertainment next time if he is going to take this long. I mean, I know I was just to myself for like a week, but this still sucks. Surely they understand that I need some kind of enrichment. Maybe I should make it more obvious. If they could even give me my phone back, I'd be happy. I shouldn't get mad at him. It's not his fault. I'm not mad at anyone, really. Just the situation, I guess. All I want is some help. From outside the door, I hear some hurried thumps as someone approaches. Finally, I resume the exact seat I had before he left and just wait for him to come to me. No reason to get an automatic door for someone. By the heart, I am sorry that took so long. It was just one thing after another, and before I knew it, Doc, It's okay. Is everything alright with the professor? Huh? Oh, yes. It's just he needed some help with things, and... It's a lot. Sorry I was gone for so long. Did Marruk stay with you? No. No? I mean, he was here for lunch, but he had things to do as well. Have you just been here by yourself, then? Oh, Tucker, I'm so sorry. You don't have to apologize, Merowyn. It's not your fault. Well, no, but... I'll try to see to it that doesn't happen again. Perhaps next time I'll see if you can come with me. Come with you? Yes! I really didn't go that far, just a few floors down. And I don't see why not. You could stay safe in Professor Senno's office just as well as mine. That might be interesting. If anything, I can use it as an excuse to see more of this place. If he doesn't mind. It'll be fine. He's got room. Besides, I think you'll like it. I'm not sure what that means. But it's exciting to hear I might be able to see some cool places sooner. A big goofy grin appears on his muzzle and he finally settles into the room. He quickly checks his monitor and reviews what little data we had gotten earlier. He also either didn't notice that I moved some things around or simply doesn't care. I'll assume the former for now. I am still sorry for my absence though, Tucker. I should be free to share dinner with you though. If you would like. Yeah, sure thing, Merowyn. Drown you. Go. Oh my. Oh my. Yeah, sure thing, Merowyn. You sure you'll be free though? Yes, I promise. My schedule isn't normally so hectic. I feel I may be to blame for some of that, although it seems Tyr has him running ragged as well. Right. Back to it, I suppose. Now, where were we? Hey, Marrow, if you don't mind, could we just talk for a bit before continuing? Talk? Yeah. Listen, I know everything we're doing here is really important, and it's all for my benefit as well, but I'm still having a hard time dealing with everything. I was curious if we could maybe go a bit slower. It takes a few seconds for the neural to translate my sentence as Marrow's expression remains unchanging. Either that, or Doc is having a hard time understanding what I just said regardless. Eventually, though, his expression tells me enough. Oh, of course, Tucker. We can go as slow as we need to. Let me just... He puts down some documents and pulls over another stool to sit next to me, while still keeping a decent distance between us. Ha! That's awful. Is he afraid to sit next to me now? He was so confident on that little bench in the cell. Maybe it's easier when I'm just some helpless thing that can't communicate. Or maybe I'm just overanalyzing his seating choices. Tucker? Right. Sorry, I think I just... I don't believe everyone when they said that things would still be hard when I got out of that cell. It's barely even been a day and I still feel trapped. I mean, I can't even leave a room without assistance. So what's the difference? Even being left alone just now, I was scared of something happening. He remains silent, either allowing me to continue or unable to offer any guidance. And it's not your fault. Nor is it Marruk's, or Rune's, or anyone's. But I don't know what to do. I don't want to just sit in my room all day. I want to be able to help you, here. I want to be able to try and live... It's okay, Tucker. Please don't cry. Please don't. Fuck. I hadn't even noticed. He reaches out a paw for me, but the distance gets to us both, as he can only reach my knee. I'm okay. Sorry, I didn't mean to scare you. I think it will just take some time. More silence. Hey. More silence. But this time I see ideas forming behind his eyes. Tucker, if you need time, I will make sure you can have it. I figured there would be challenges for you in the future, no matter how much I could be here for you. I just hoped they would not be so soon. I think time will help, but please, if you need something, just ask, as you did now. I did not expect the medical test to take that much of a toll on you, nor did I expect you to still feel so trapped and alone. But I do now. He doesn't understand. Has he ever truly understood what I've said? Merowyn, I don't need you to stop the medical tests. I don't need you to not do your job. I think I just need a moment. I don't think Automod will kill you. I don't think he understands. I was right. But then again, I'm not sure I even know what I'm asking for. What I need. We sit in relative silence as my panting, which I hadn't even noticed I was doing, slowly returns to a somewhat softened breath. Still, silence persists. I think I might have worried Doc, but I think he is waiting for me to explain what I need. What he can do for me, if he can do anything, that is. Automod can see everything. Closing my eyes and focusing on my breathing, I steady myself against his desk. A subtle blue light from the ambience of the room even now shines through shut lids. Automod will only watch, wait, and listen, and then when you least expect it, it will ban you from existence. It will! Fucking Automod. He must think I've lost it, that the second I left the cell I fell apart. Maybe he's right, but I cannot tell why. I think I put so much emphasis on getting out that I lost myself in the reality of the day-to-day. I'm not free, yet, but all of this might just help me get there. I opened my eyes to see Doc sitting as still as always, but not with the expression I had thought he'd have. He does not appear to be worried, but is smiling. I'm sorry, Merwin. I underestimated what life would be like now. Almost nothing has happened, and yet, it got to me. He scooches his stool a bit closer and leans in on the desk. Understand that this may not be something that I can fix for you. Yay! Yay, Tucker! Understand that this may not be something I can fix for you. Not right away, at least. But please, I can always listen. I think... Oh. Cat. I think that when I stepped out of that cell, even though I knew nothing would change, I was hoping that everything would change. That in a day or two I'd be fine and life would be normal. Even though I have no idea what normal is anymore. It's fine that it isn't. I think I'm starting to realize that. But it took me a moment to internalize it. I think I just need time. And for some reason, I did not think I would. Doc is still giving me a wavering smile, but I do feel as though I have worried him. His eyes dart all over me, inspecting every inch, perhaps seeing what I cannot. Eventually, however... Of course, Tucker. I do worry about you. I'm sorry. But I also understand that you are capable of taking care of yourself. All I can do is be here for you, if you are willing to talk. He smiles, and we both look away as I realize we were never in silence at all. A warm thrumming from all of the machines in the room persists. Still, we sit. Almost a minute passes before Doc gets up. I watch as he goes back to what I now assume is his main monitor and quickly checks on a few things. Tucker? Yes, Doc? Would you like to go back to your room for the day? Perhaps just rest? There was not much more work that could be done today anyways. No, Merwin. It's okay. I'd prefer to not be alone right now. May I ask what is left? Right, of course. Let me see... He continues scrolling before turning back to me. A non-invasive scan, much less intensive than the last. Then, No, we don't have time for that. Let's see... Ah! Perhaps I could take a few more samples for testing? Not blood, mind you. Saliva would work just as well. Perhaps if there's time after, I can try to find something else to teach you. Although I didn't have time to prepare anything formal, mind you. But it can wait if you're too tired. Huh? What do you mean by that? Well, I was unsure if you would want to sit here and listen to me just talk after today, or if you would rather rest. I could probably explain some more about the station to you, if you were curious. If I was curious? Of course I'm curious! But I can understand how that might be a bit much considering how Doc found me. That being said, I'm more than happy to learn about this place. I know next to nothing about it right now. I think it would be great to learn more about the station. I know you're worried about me, but this is exactly what I'm talking about. I want to learn about this place. It's the only way it will become normal for me. Finally, a genuine smile returns to his face. I still don't think he wholly understands what is wrong, but I know he cares. Even if his worries can be misplaced. I'm glad, Tucker. And I'll try to find more ways to make all of this easier, I promise. Doc, I know. I trust you. Thank you, Tucker. Now, if you don't mind stepping over here... Oh, right. We walk over to an unassuming-looking machine with a few rings on it. Ooh, which one is this? Here we go. Just put your arm in here and I can begin to scan it. Was the scan earlier not enough? Oh, no, sorry, Tucker. That was less accurate and more broad. I did get to see what your bones looked like, though. I can't wait to take some time and inspect them more. Go for it, Doc. Let me know if you find anything interesting. Oh, I will. You know, Doc is a giant dog, more or less. I wonder if he has the same proclivity to bones as dogs back home. Probably not. Hey, Doc, this, scan here. Yes? What of it? It's not gonna hurt, is it? Hurt? Tucker, did that last scan hurt you? By the heart, you should have said something! No. I was uncomfortable, but it didn't hurt. I was just nervous. Every other time I've given you my arm, well, you take blood from it, and that does hurt, if just a bit. Well, I am sorry for that, Tucker. I've tried to make it as painless as possible, I promise. But no, this machine shouldn't cause you any pain. Ah, thanks. And don't worry, I know you don't mean to cause me any pain. I don't think I phrased that right. Oh well. Putting my arm into the machine, Doc walks over to a small monitor and the rings begin to spin around. A gentle light runs up and down my arm as Doc asks me kindly to rotate it this way and that so he can get the best scans. It's not a very intensive process overall. Much more enjoyable than the last scan, that's for sure. After a few rotations, and after Doc realized he was asking me to twist my arm in an impossible direction, he announces that's enough for now and I reclaim my arm. Haha. Well, how's that? Better? Much. Thank you, Doc. Well then, how about just one more test for today, Tucker? Would you mind if I took some samples from you? Aw. Just saliva, right? Like you said? Technically, it could be anything. But that is the least invasive method, yes. Then yeah, if you don't mind. I don't want to try more than that today. Of course, you can stay right there if you want. Let me just gather what I need. Taking his time, he walks around to a few different drawers and gathers what he needs. For how organized this place seems to be, he does stop and scratch his head a few times. I guess even he can forget where he put something. It doesn't take long, however, as he only really needed a few things. This won't take long, I promise. Now let me explain the procedure. Since I'm only collecting saliva, I have this tool here. He holds up what must be a cotton swab of some kind. Or whatever the carrying equivalent is. And I will gently swab around your mouth a few times to get some samples. Your mouth will feel dry, but there shouldn't be any discomfort otherwise. Is that okay? This Karain. He really does take everything I say into consideration, huh? He's even worried about hurting me with a cotton swab. I won't bring it up. But if he can read my heart, I hope he can tell it's appreciated. Okay, Doc, so I should just hold my mouth open? Like this? Ah, perfect, Tucker. Let me just... He quickly unwraps one of the swabs and dabs it around my gums and under my tongue. Once complete, he stores it in some kind of container with another liquid present. After 2 more swabs, he seems to have run out and I close my mouth. He was right about one thing. I think I'm going to need some water after that. That should be enough for now. We still have some time until Marruk arrives. Let me see if I can manage a small presentation for you. Oh, right! I'm curious to see what he's able to throw together for me. Yes, I'd love to, but, could you maybe grab me a glass of water first? Oh, of course, Tucker. I did warn you. Returning to my seat, I find that the projected monitor is already set up this time. As it seems Doc has a better grip on how to run all the systems by himself now. It doesn't mean it's a flawless process, however, as it takes him some time to find the right files and pull them up. But when he does, lo and behold, it does work! Well, now that that's done, let me see what I can find for you today. You wanted to tell me about the station, yeah? The Icoriod 2? Right, that one. Yes, indeed. Let me see what would be interesting. I don't believe technical readouts would be very interesting. Probably not worth talking about power consumption. I guess his history will have to be enough. Perhaps I can find some projects to talk about as well. Is he actually going to finally give me some answers about everything? At least about this station? Marruk is going to have a conniption. Actually, speaking of... Hey, Merwin? I'm totally happy that you want to tell me all of this. But is Marruk going to be okay with it? Officer Marruk has no say over what you are and aren't allowed to learn. And honestly, he needs to get over his little spat about all of that. We can't have you getting lost or worse while here, and knowing more about the station would help. I swear sometimes that carrying just... I can't imagine not knowing anything about your new... Rather, I can't imagine not knowing anything about the station is making your situation easier. Anyways, most of what I will show you today is superficial. It's mostly about the history of the station, rather than anything crucial to its function. I can find some maps for you when you are allowed to move around the station more freely. Anyways, I believe this is more than enough information for one day. Well, as you know, the Icoriod 2 is quite massive, as it can sustain upwards of 500 crew members easily. But in fact, the station itself is much, much larger. We only occupy about a third of the station, while the rest is for essential systems and machinery. It even has its own orbiting substations to help take care of any external issues. External issues? If any debris or other external materials, such as asteroids, were to be on course with the station, they'd help take care of that. He casually said, "Fuck you, Marruk," but in a polite manner. Along with fixing any smaller issues on the outside of the station in a spacewalk. In fact, I believe Director Tiran is trained to do that kind of maintenance. Really? That sounds kind of great. I can't imagine what it's like to just float out in space. Maybe bring some music and just relax. Rune also seems to downplay his job. I wonder how much he really does around here. I'm also curious about how much of this place he's seen, since Doc said it's so much bigger than I had imagined. The station itself is divided up into various floors and subfloors, each with their own purpose. Most carry and get around using the elevator systems at the center of the station. But as you can imagine, those can get quite crowded. There are of course stairs, but, well, if you need to get from floor 3 to floor 10, not everyone is committed enough to walk. Yeah? How committed are you, Doc? Be careful, Tucker. I could arrange for you to have a room on the first floor. And last time I checked, you aren't allowed to take the elevators yet. Oh, come on, you wouldn't do that. You wouldn't do that. You wouldn't do that. You wouldn't do that. You wouldn't do that, Merwin. Come on, Merwin. Come on. You wouldn't. You wouldn't. You wouldn't, Merwin. Come on. You wouldn't. You wouldn't. I don't think he meant to remind me of my limited mobility right now. And I think he realized that. But for both our sakes, he moves on. Well, yes. Anyways, there are a few ships that tend to us regularly, but most of our provisions are either made on board or are rationed correctly, to not cause any shortages. Which is another reason it's been so hard to find you any new clothing, I'm afraid. It might have to be custom made, as we only get new shipments of supplies every few months. That being said, I'm asking everyone I can to try and find you something sooner. Thanks, Doc. I did have a question, if I may. He nods. I was curious, why are we so far out? I mean, why aren't we orbiting Leo or any of the other closer planets? Good question, Tucker. It's a variety of reasons, some that even I can't explain. Why not? I'm a bit too tired for Doc's soft lies today. If he can't tell me something, he better have a damn good reason for it. Well, because I'm not a politician. Oh, fuck. Hang on. He can't tell us because he isn't the President of the United States. Wait, what? It was decided that it would be best if no planet could have a direct claim over the station, I believe. It's not that the station itself generates vast amounts of income or something like that. In fact, I'm fairly sure it's the opposite. But yes, it's partially a legal issue. And mind you, that's not the only reason. It's also far easier to launch deep space probes, study Novale itself, and apparently catch aliens out here. Well, I know he's right about one of those things. I feel bad that I thought poorly of him now. Still, I have to make sure he doesn't try to skip over things anymore. Alright, thanks. Please continue. Of course. Well, as you now know, another important part of the station is sending out deep space probes. In fact, this station is used for most carrying space exploration nowadays. If a ship is going to another planet for any number of reasons, there's a good chance it'll stop here at some point. Let me see, what else is there? Well... Yeah, Doc? Oh, it's just... another technical document. Nothing interesting, I'm afraid. Why is he doing this? Making it so hard for me to trust him sometimes. What could he possibly be hiding that I'll be better off not knowing? Oh, dog. Hi. Hi, what are you doing? What are you doing? Ah! Ah! Damn it, cat. Go. Go lay down. What could he possibly be hiding that I'll be better off not knowing? Well, okay. I had another question, though, if you don't mind. Another nod. This is the Icoriod 2, yeah? Correct. Was there an Icoriod 1? They have. Like, the cat is literally climbing onto me right now for attention. He's literally, like, climbing onto me right now because he wants attention. Come. Be a parrot. Come on, cat, be a parrot. Sit on the shoulder. Wait, what? Was that it? Did I manage to guess what he was hiding? Or is it some other fun fact he's decided to omit? Doc? Please. Of course. That was a worrying pause. How bad could it have been? Maybe he just thinks it will be too much. Either way, no more secrets. Okay, get down, Bubby. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Not if I can help it. Well, yes, you are correct. There was an Icoriod one, and it was indeed the predecessor of this station. However, it wasn't built in the best of times. What? What does that mean, Doc? Well, the Icoriod 1 was a marvel of engineering still to this day. It was almost as big as this station, and from what I've heard, even grander in design. It orbited Leo in all of its glory and could be seen from the surface at night. It was truly something to behold. But this was before artificial gravity was perfected, and well, one night it decided to rain. Doc? I'm sorry, Tucker. This might be too much for today. No. Tell me what happened. It happened before I was born, but I know it all too well. Everyone does. At first, people thought it was a meteor shower, and then a rare solar flare of some kind. But no, Icoriod 1 had fallen into a decaying orbit. It had passed the red line. Something had happened with the engines or the early anti-gravity tech, but nothing was working. The emergency thrusters burned up on firing. Communications were broken at best, and all people could see was rain. Sleek, fiery rain. Doc's eyes glaze over a bit as he finishes his sentence. His gaze becomes unfocused as he stares away, towards some unseen light. I think that he might not have been protecting me from knowing about this, but rather, maybe he didn't want to remember. That's why we aren't orbiting Leo, isn't it? It's why we aren't orbiting Leo. I knew it. Damn! Jeez, that's sad. That's sad. What are you doing? Ah! That is actually very sad. It takes him a minute to slowly regain his composure. His focus returns and he turns to me. He must have some untold sense, some guiding force behind his actions, because As he turns, he smiles. A genuine and deep smile, as if he just remembered that there is joy in the world. Jeez, that's actually very sad. What are you doing? Ah. That is very sad. It is. Like, Jesus. Like, oh my god. I'm sorry, Tucker. I thought that might be a bit much for today. It does have a happy ending, though. It does? Yes. After that, Leo and Uriun came together to create this station, and using what they learned from the last time, they made it better. Much better, trust me. Although, I wouldn't have minded if they made it a bit prettier at times. It is a bit gray, isn't it? It's great if you like repetitive hallways, yes. But yes, let me... Beep, beep, beep. You both jumped as Doc pulls out his monitor and starts reading something on the small screen. I thought he had that thing on silent. Excuse me, Tucker. You'll be happy to know that Marruk is on his way with dinner. It seems like this might be a good stopping point for the night. Again? That's nice of him. I thought he was only bringing us lunch. Yeah, I think that was enough for today. Fortunately for my stomach, as it turns out, on the way for Marruk means already arriving, as not but a few minutes later, there are some aggressive knocks on the door. Ah, Marruk, thank goodness. I'd almost thought you had gotten lost. Oh, Doc, don't be silly. I could find your lab from miles away. I'd just follow the trails of blood or the screaming. Ha! But Marruk, please, maybe not in front of Tucker? You started it. It's calming in a way to see those two joke around so casually. I mean, I think that's what that is. I'm still curious about how it came to be, though. I, for one, thought Marruk was incapable of friendship. Tucker. Maybe that's not giving him enough credit. Besides our rough start, he has been a lot nicer to me now. Tucker! It'd be great if he could be nicer to Rune, though. Especially since we're going to be around each other so often now. Speaking of, I wonder... Tucker! What? Sorry, I was... Yeah, I get it. You're not the only one. Just take your food so I can put this damned tray down. Oh, right, sure. Thanks for dinner. So, Doc, anything to report? Report? You know, you learn anything interesting about Tucker here today? He's secretly a monster or something? Acid blood? Marruk, if he had acid blood, your jacket would have been ruined. Wait, did I get blood on your jacket? Yeah, just a bit. It was right. Wait! That's not fucking important! Damn it, Doc! But to answer your question, Marruk, or rather, the one I think you were asking, no. Tucker is no more dangerous than a normal carrion. Maybe less so, even. What is he... Ah. Marruk was asking if I needed to be detained. Again. Or something along those lines. I don't know, Doc. You haven't finished your tests, right? Maybe I do have acid blood and I just don't want to show you. Oh, that's true, Tucker. Or maybe you've already taken over my mind and replaced me. Alright, both of you can fuck off. Jeez, guy learns Korean, and the first thing he understands is how to get on my nerves. You make it too easy. Yeah, whatever. Just shut up and enjoy your dinner. Heh, thanks again for the dinner. But really, Doc, anything? And I don't mean, like, anything scary, just, like, in general. Again with these questions, Marruk? Really? No, nothing particularly noteworthy. Maybe the most noteworthy thing is how similar they are in some aspects. Similar? Well, yes. Tucker appears to be quite similar in design to us. Similar skeletal patterns. Even their blood has at least fairly similar hemoglobin proteins. From my current scans, it seems as though they have roughly the same number of organs as us, most of which I can only assume serve the same functions. Even their vascular system seems to roughly follow the same outline as ours. My current hypothesis on it all is that all bipedal carbon-based life forms might just have these similarities. Was that not the explanation you were looking for? Nah. I mean, that's fine and all, but acid blood would have been cooler. Right. Well, I for one am glad Tucker doesn't have acid blood. Well, Marruk, what about yourself? Huh? You worked today, no? How was your first day back on patrol? Oh. More like first day back getting hounded by annoying questions. Oh boy. That's about right. You wouldn't fucking stop asking about it, and I had to take lunch early just to get them off my tail. What tail? Anyways, I don't know, Doc. This is all turning out to be a hell of a lot of work. I mean, I was on patrol and people actually approached me to ask me about my day and shit. Me, of all caring. I mean, I knew what they really wanted, but still, it felt weird. I can imagine, Marruk. Were you able to shake them, or... Not really. As much as I'd like to sometimes. I'm not about to push someone to the ground for asking me too many questions. I just told them some little scraps about it and went about my day. Usually kept them off me. Scraps? Yeah, like, I don't know, that you wear clothes and can write. Look, these people are really dying to learn anything. I could have told them that you know how to walk on your own and they probably would have lost it. Seems you got a better crowd than I did. What? Nothing. Right. Well, people will be curious. It's just how they are. And unfortunately, Tucker, they do have a good reason. I myself would probably be one of them if I were not allowed to meet you myself. Yeah, I guess that does make sense. I guess nothing can be done about it now. Not yet, Tucker, but as soon as we can. Right. With that, I go back to chewing on some salad as Marruk checks his monitor while Doc just watches us. It's nothing new at this point. The silent discomfort that comes with ending a conversation. It's happened many times before, and yet I thought it might happen less now that there were no walls between us. Maybe it's as Doc said, though. Soon, for whatever that's worth. He's right, though. I know he is. Until then, I think I have to make something work for me, to try not let the conversations run dry, to try not let another wordless meal pass, as this one already has. Fortunately, at least tonight, I can help put away the plates and feel ever so slightly less like a burden. Doc says to not worry about them beyond stacking them. He can have someone come and get them. I'd protest, but I don't know what I'd do with them myself. As Marruk heads out to survey the hall, Merwin cleans up some last scraps and rearranges his desk for tomorrow. Everything in its place, I was right. As we step into the hallways, I notice the lights have dimmed and the halls are empty. Makes me wonder if this whole area is more akin to an office than anything. So when the shifts stop, everyone just heads home. It would make sense, but then why are our rooms so close? Is the privilege of having your own room weighed against living only a few minutes away from where you work? It doesn't matter. But as we walk in silence, my mind does wander. Marruk tells Doc a bit more about some of the people he bumped into today. He actually called one of them his friends, which was shocking. Doc gets a bit more in depth when Marruk asks about some of the tests. A bit too in depth if Marruk's confused grimace is anything to go by. They carry on a few conversations, but eventually both just end up walking at offbeat paces, each trying to catch up to the other, while not leaving me behind. I don't think they've realized I can't walk as fast as them. But as we continue forward, I find myself ignoring them more and more and just zoning out. The repetitive nature of the hall is blending everything into a gray pattern as we head forwards. Not as bad as before, at least. I pick up a few details that Doc whispers in hushed tones, but nothing more. I do, however, notice as we pass the library door, signaling that we have almost arrived. Once we get to the executive hallway, Marruk very quickly veers off to his own room after bidding us goodnight, leaving Doc and I just waiting in front of Rune's door. Doc says he should be back about now from his work. That being said, this is Rune we're talking about. From everything I've seen so far, he's not the best at arriving on time. A few minutes go by until a very disheveled maintenance director comes careening down the hallway basically out of breath. Doc and I both just kind of stare as he fumbles with his keycards and eventually manages to get into the executive hallway, panting and muttering to himself as he approaches us. So, when you said, I'll drop off Tucker around the 26th mark, you meant exactly at the 26th mark? Well, I thought it was a reasonable time. Did you not get the schedule I sent you? Or also when I explained it to you yesterday? I skimmed it. Right. Well, we didn't have to wait too long, so no worries. Good night, Director. Good night, Tucker. Rune looks like he wants to correct him, but he's too busy catching his breath. Hi, Rune. While I'd like to get inside the warm room, I don't push him. He seems exhausted. I guess he only just got off of work, and now has to deal with me. Well, deal with might be a bit much. All I want to do right now is go to bed. After another short few minutes, he collects himself and locks eyes with me. Hey there, Tucker. You, have a good day? Sorry I couldn't drop by and say hi. Oh, it was fine, Rune. Just ran some tests with Doc. Nothing too much, really. Nothing much, really. Yeah? That's good. I'm glad you could have a more relaxing day. He doesn't need to know about everything that happened. Maybe later. He propped himself up against the wall, maybe to look cool. I think just for support. Still just staring at me, though. Rune? Yeah? Don't you want to open the door for us? Open the what? Oh! Oh, right. Let me just... Fumbling again, he pulls out a few key cards until he finds the right one. Bzz. Maybe the wrong one. But eventually he swipes the right card and gets us into the room. He excuses himself and runs to the bathroom. I can hear the shower turn on as I take a seat on his bed. I mean, I'm glad he's not just sleeping in the walls again. But it does seem like he might have a bit much going on today. So much so that he forgot about getting here. I'll see if I can ask him. Or at least see if there's anything I can do to help. Aha, it's fun pressing the control button. As the blow dryer revs up, I know my time is short. Deciding to get up and wait near the door. A slightly damp muzzle pokes out of the bathroom door, followed by a damp head. A shocked expression crosses his face, and I decide to cover my eyes. I hear him scramble across the floor and start messing with some drawers behind me. Taking that as a good enough cue, I slip into the still warm bathroom and clean off myself. It doesn't take long for me to get all cleaned up for the night. Although, I do spend some extra time just standing under the shower head. After prolonged rinsing, I step out, almost fully clothed, and try to peek out where Rune is, to not scare him. Noticing he's already under the covers, I take that as a sign to slip under my own. Are you okay, Rune? Okay? Yeah, you seemed, well, a bit out of it. Oh, no. Thank you there, Tucker. Just, there's a lot more on my list of things to fix than I had thought. A lot more. Are you going to be able to handle it? Well, what? I'm sure we'll be fine, Rune. Oh, thanks. Do you mind if we turn out the lights now? Yeah. Yeah, no problem, bud. I don't see him smile, but I swear I can hear Rogue's tail thump against his bed as the sheets move a bit. Hitting the lights drains the room of almost every color but blue. Cat has come for attention. What are you doing? Ah! But blue, as his arm once again projects its own nightlight. Rolling over, I can hide most of it from view, enough to find comfort in the darkness at least. And then, there are no colors anymore. Day 9. Psst. Psst. Tucker. It's time to get up. Good morning, sunshine. The earth says hello. What are you doing? Once again, I'm roused by the mechanical fingers pressing into my side. I'm met with the face of Rune. Already dressed and ready for the day. Oh, hey, what time is it? Only the 5th mark. But Merwin wanted you earlier today. Right. More tests. Hopping out of bed, I take to the shower and get rinsed off. Not quite basking in it for as long. Coming back out, I notice Rune looking away a bit awkwardly until I realize I hadn't finished getting dressed. Quickly, I throw a shirt on and... Oh, good. You ready? Dr. Merwin will be here any minute. If last night was anything to go by. What was that, Rune? I said, are you ready? Oh, yeah, sure thing, bud. We both turn as we hear plodding footsteps approaching the door, followed by a loud but measured knocking. Are you two awake in there? Opening the door, we are both greeted by Merwin, who ushers us on our way. Although it seems like that might not have been necessary, as the hallways are dead at this hour. The cat is just staring at me. What are you doing? What are you doing, mister? What are you doing? We've already passed the library, and I've only seen 2 other Karain, both of which were so engrossed in their monitors that they barely looked up to notice us. one offering Marruk a cautious "Morning, Doc," before walking along. Hey, you want to read too? Come on, mister. Read with us. You know, it's so early, Doc, you didn't have to walk with us. Nobody really walks these halls for another few marks. Well, yes, I know, but I figured since we already were coming from the same place, it simply made more sense. We went over this yesterday. Did we? Man, I was out of it. I guess. We pass a few more stray carrion who either don't notice us or back away in fear at seeing us. But none do more than gawk, if anything. Coming to a final corner, Rune stops us. Well, since we're here now, do you mind if I break off here? It would be a lot easier for me to get where I need to be today. Oh, of course, Rune. I'll be back with Tucker at the 26th mark, okay? I'll let you know if the time changes. He just nods. Have a good day, Tucker. Thanks. You too. We part ways, but before we turn the corner, I look back, just to see him waiting there, watching us. I guess he's still worried about something. Coming to the final hallway, I can see the door again as we approach Doc's lab. We're gonna leave off here tonight. Ah! Ah! Yeah, so sad. It's so sad. I feel like once we're done with all the tests that we'll just, I don't know. What's it called? We'll be fuck. What did you do? What did you do, mister? You like stepped on you did something to an HDMI cable or whatever. I don't know. But anyways, yeah. Stay safe, have a good night. And I will see you all tomorrow.